Jesus, obviously back after a very strong performance at the Galaxy. Where's the team at in terms of mentality and moving forward?
Yeah, no, I think that the team is in a great spot, mentally, physically, collectively. The group is, finding the rhythm. We're finding our style of play, what suits us, and it is paying off. I think that the best thing from this group is that we learn from each game. Either it's a win, either it's a loss, or either it's a tie, and we improve it every week. And so, we're making mistakes maybe after the World Cup, and we improve it, and then you see how strong. Each half is important, and now you're seeing games in the league where second half is more important and we come with more energy than the other team. And so it's just learning it and building upon those performances.
It was your first shift there in place of Albert Rusnak. How would you categorize your game, rate it, and the totality of it?
It's a lot different now. Sometimes you think as a midfielder it's all the same, but no, it's totally different. Playing in that position now, I see like a little difference. You got to be a little bit more patient. And for me, I'm always a guy that wants to be on the ball, and so it works out a little bit. But sometimes I got to be a little bit more patient. But it's a lot more people around the ball and that left side. I'm used to just being me and Alex on the right, me turning and just playing Alex. But on this side, you have. For example, this last game we have Pedro, you got Nuhu underneath, you got Christian underneath, so you have a lot of people to be around. So that means that you have to be quicker and smarter in that position.
When you showed up here, I would imagine games like Sunday were what you had in mind. Like when you closed your eyes and imagined what it would be like playing for the Sounders, it was probably a lot like that. But to put it into words, how does it feel being out there with a bunch of guys who seem to all want the ball and who all sort of feel like they could be the next scorer?
Yeah, no. At first it's a little tough because, like you said, you come in here knowing that it's a super team. You have great players that can play in any team and start in any team, and so coming here, I knew that I had to work for my spot and then I had to grind because it wasn't going to be given. But it's exciting to see the amount of effort and the commitment that we have between each other, because I think that's what wins us games, is that Christian making a run in the box and someone covering for him, or center back stepping into the midfield and someone covering for him. And so it's that commitment that we have for each other and the collective that's going to win us games. And so I think that's what I'm enjoying the most, is being able to go out with a group that has my back, no matter if I have a bad game or a good game or maybe game, because everybody has bad games and everybody makes mistakes, but it's the collective that's always intact, and it's that mentality of the next man up. And so we have a few injuries right now and throughout the year, and we have people showed up, we have people stepped up, and that's what it's all about. It's about the collective, and that's how we're going to win more games.
How have you guys have you impressed yourselves in terms of being out with your two DPs basically, and still being able to be successful? Is that impressing yourselves that you're able to not skip it?
No, I think that we have great enough players to fill out those positions. Obviously, those are big parts of our team. In the locker room, outside of the locker room, and just in the environment, there's big losses. And so, but the good thing is that we have a deep enough roster to cover those losses. And we have to keep doing it. The season is not going to stop, and that's what's important for us. It starts here at training. The effort. How you train is how you play. And so coach is giving opportunities to guys, and guys are taking advantage of it. And so I think that's the most important thing, is that the guys that are coming in taking advantage. I'm seeing a little bit more minutes, so making sure that I can take advantage of that in different positions, and making sure that I can give the coach a reason to keep playing me, to keep putting me in the starting lineup, and that's what it's all about. I think that every guy has that same mentality of wanting more, wanting to play more, starting, not starting, and so I think we have a deep enough roster to go for the cup. And even if there's injuries, we have guys that are ready, that have played games, and the environment that we have on training fields is going to be the same environment that we have on the games.
To that idea on the amount of minutes and the amount of games you have, and there being so much, when you're winning 7-0-3-10, does it feel like minutes are coming off legs because of how the success is on the field?
No, I think they still hit you hard, especially how long flights are and how things go. But like I said, I think we have a good enough roster, and the coach makes good decisions to know when to rest, when not to rest, and so I think physically the guys are feeling great. And obviously, you never know when an injury can happen. You can't predict that, but I think that we are set up to be successful and to play as many games as we can. But I think the roster is deep enough to play any guy in any position and get a score.
Speaking of that depth, what have you seen from Snyder?
Yeah, no, he's an awesome guy. We had him in preseason. That's where I first saw him, and he has that chip on his shoulder that he wants to play games. And when he comes in, he has a mentality of let me impress the coach to get more minutes, and so that's all about. Coming in and scoring your first goal. I know that feeling. That feeling felt great, and so I know what he's going through. He's going through that moment where now it's the moment where he has to keep grinding. I've always said, signing your professional contract is the easiest part, but coming out every day and training with the guys and making it to the roster and making it to the game, that's the hardest part. And so I think that he has a great head. He has a great group of friends around him that support him and are pushing him.
Have you talked about those?
How is the defense kind of been helping you guys offensively?
No, I think that we do both of the jobs. I think that we are a pressing team that love to press and want to suffocate the other team, and that helps the defense in a way because all they have to do is hit it long, and we have giants back there who are killers in the air, and so we get the ball back. And then defensively, we have Andrew who saved us a couple times against Tijuana. We have him against LA, and so having that back line be so strong gives us a lot of confidence where we have enough legs to attack, because I think sometimes we get pushed back and we're defending for 5 minutes, and when we attack we have no legs. I remember the first few minutes where I went to LA, we were defending and then I went to go shoot and it was just like a little shot, so it's those moments where we can take advantage of our pressing to get them to hit them long, and we win it back there because we know that we're going to win it 10 times out of 10.
You and Snyder talked about your Texas roots.
No, he talked about it with Paul more, which is a little bit upsetting because Paul, I don't know what Paul has there, but yeah, no, we mentioned it a little bit.
Obviously, this team is in a great run of form. Pedro, after the Cruz Azul game, mentioned that there was some unification of just the overall feel of the team celebrating together. Do you feel like this group has come closer and stronger as the season has progressed?
Yeah, I think that we knew how important and tough the season was going to be. We have a lot of games at the beginning of the season, a lot of games in the middle, and so it's hard to start a season strong and win games and stuff like that. So we knew what we were going to go into, but I think the more that we played games, the more that we enjoyed the game, the more that we were winning games, the team it just puts together. And so I think off the field, having that friendship, that commitment to each other relates to on the field. And so I think the guys are enjoying themselves. I think that's the most important. We're enjoying the game and enjoying the wins. I think that's the most important thing.
After you beat the CONCACAF champions 7-0 and then you beat the MLS champions 4-0, how do you stay hungry? How do you keep the team motivated and going after two huge score lines against two top teams?
No, I think we go with the same mentality that we went into those games. We want to win every game. I think the club is their mentality is win any game in any competition against anyone, and so we go into any game, either League Cup, World Cup, or any game with the mentality that we want to win because that's the club that we are, and that's the mentality that we have. And so I think that we continue showing that we can be one of the best teams in the MLS. Either it's internationally or locally, and so I think that's how we stay hungry. I think it's just having that mentality that we want to win whatever game we're in, and keep moving forward because we want to show that we have a good enough roster to win against any team in any competition.